It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Meloni.
Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to yet another show of That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. You can catch this show on here weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 WHNZ. If you're finding my show on the air for the first time, I'm coming up on my completion of my second month here, having a lot of fun doing this show and talking to all the influential business owners, entrepreneurs, political leaders, and people making a difference out there in the community. So if you're just catching the show on for the first time, this is a show with a positive message, and as always, I extend an invite to all the business owners in and around the Tampa Bay region, and even out across the country and abroad. If you've got a great message, product, or service, I want to hear about what you're doing. And so please, feel free to reach out to me. Best way to get me, send me a quick email, jamie@tampabayradio.com, with a pitch of what it is that you're doing. And as I always say, there is no charge, so please don't let that stop you. I've got a lot of great people that are lined up to be on the show, and you can always catch each week's lineup. I put that up each Sunday up on tampabayradio.com, so head over to there. And also, please support our show sponsors on the website, too. You'll see on the tampabayradio.com page a link to the preferred providers. So please help to support them and help support this show. Again, this show is all about, a positive message for our community and surrounding areas, and what's right with their country and stuff, and then not so much the political talk and all the negative stuff that we hear on the airwaves, especially the radio. The airwaves seem to be polluted with too many professional complainers, as I like to say. And I myself am a news junkie, and I listen to radio and I'll watch the different Fox programs and MSNBC and CNN, and it's turned into just pretty much a battlefield on the airwaves, with one network fighting against the other. And I decided to take a stand against that and do something positive, and what better way to do that than talk with our business owners and entrepreneurs and people making a difference in our community. Joined in studio today with my lovely co-host who makes an appearance today, Stella Giudicelli. How are you doing today, Stella?
I am excellent, thank you. How are you, Jamie?
Doing great. You're got a great outfit on. It's kind of got like an Indian appeal to it or something going on here. What's this outfit about?
Yeah, well, I'm going to WillowGlade this evening. So
what's the event at WillowGlade tonight?
Oh, no, nothing special. I'm meeting a good friend of mine, Dominic Martinez. He's with Rustic Steel Creations. He's the person who's done the wheel looking like at the door when you come in, and he's a great artist. He's done a lot of pieces, actually. He works out of iron and steel. I don't know if you've seen that dragon when you drive on Kennedy Boulevard. There's a dragon on top of
an
Asian
about that one
restaurant.
business that's making those different metal creations that we see all over town.
It's pretty amazing.
I want to get in touch with those guys. Yeah, they're making.
I can have him here, I'm sure.
That would be great. I would love to speak with that guy, because I'm seeing these things all over town. I drive by the business every single day.
Did you see like there's two, like a dog and a cat playing together in front of like an animal hospital, a veterinarian?
I've seen a lot of these things.
And you will notice, I noticed it because they have that piece of art.
Yeah, it's a pretty nifty thing. They're taking these, if people haven't seen these things, they're taking just metal and welding this all together, and they're making these huge things. I've seen like these, robots, and I saw a bull the other day, and they're huge, and I couldn't imagine what the cost of something like that is. But yeah, I definitely want to get in touch with those guys.
The creative mind that it requires to make it happen.
Yeah, and you're headed over to WillowGlade, you said tonight, over on the Riverwalk. I think that's opening this week or very soon.
There is an event. I think there's a ribbon cutting at 5 p.m. this evening,
okay,
and then there's like a party by on Carty Sixon Park.
Yeah, if people haven't been over to WillowGlade, that's a great restaurant over there on the Riverwalk, and the Riverwalk is a beautiful creation here, and something that Mayor Bob Buckhorn has put front and center as part of his first administration, and also coming up on his second administration here. Looking forward to more great events and great creations for the downtown Tampa community, and I'm very excited to got the invite to his inauguration next Wednesday. So
very good.
Yeah, so very excited to see Mayor Bob Buckhorn. Of course, he was on the show several weeks ago, and hopefully to get him in here quite regularly. I'm talking to him in his office about making a monthly feature and stuff to keep us up to date with what's going on with our community, because again, we want to hear what's right with the community. So Well, we've got a great show planned for today. I got John Papandrea on the phone, who is the CEO and president of WillowGlade Technologies, a company dedicated to using technology to empower cancer patients as they progress through their cancer journey. He has over 23 years of health science industry experience and holds a bachelor's degree in biomedical science from the University of Technology in Sydney and a master's degree in health administration from the University of New South Wales in Australia. Mr. Papandrea, welcome to the show today.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Thank you very much. So, is it an early start for you? Where are you checking in from? Are you out there in California or overseas? Where are you at right now?
Actually, in California, yes.
Oh, so you had to get up early for me at 5 a.m. I appreciate you, making an early start for me.
My pleasure.
So tell me, why did you start WillowGlade Technologies and get into the business of providing free healthcare apps to the general population?
Well, Jamie, I've had a fairly long career in healthcare and healthcare IT, and as my career progressed from working in the clinical laboratory through to running part of a global business, I got further and further away from doing what I love most, and that's providing help and solutions to people that need it the most. So at the end of the day, I decided to talk with patients that have chronic and acute diseases, understand how technology can help them through that course of disease, and started WillowGlade Technologies to provide solutions for those patients.
Now, WillowGlade Technologies is launching this breast care app. So let's set the playing field here for what this conversation is going to be about. A lot of this is going to focus around this app. So tell me more about this app and its features.
Sure. So as I mentioned, we spend a lot of time speaking with patients and also with their friends and family, and asking them just a couple of questions. First question is, apart from the diagnosis, apart from the treatment and the side effects of the treatment, what's been and what is your major frustration, and how can technology help that? The vast majority of those patients said major frustration actually is access to information. In the age of the internet, you would think that would be not quite the case, but a lot of patients go to the internet to search for, breast cancer or breast cancer support or information, and they get back, tens of millions of results, a lot of which is out of date, too scientific, and most importantly, not relevant for their diagnosis. So that frustrates them because they don't know what is correct for their specific diagnosis and their course of treatment. The second part of that is that they want to be able to share that information with their support network, their friends and their family, and of course their friends and family want to support, someone who has breast cancer or any type of cancer. So we created a solution that allows for the personalization of content, articles, documents that are provided to a cancer patient on a mobile device. So it's specific to their diagnosis, their cancer stage, their hormone status in the case of a breast cancer patient, their treatment, etc., their emotional status, which is also extremely important, and allows them to share that content with invited friends and family. So it creates a community within two applications around the patient where the content and the conversation and everything about it is about that specific patient and their journey.
Now, you mentioned that an inspiration for this this app, I should say, was a lack of information that people were having, with this breast cancer diagnosis. What, are there other apps or were there other products on the market before the WillowGlade Technologies got into this marketplace? And so talk to me a little bit about the journey to making this app.
Sure. There are a lot of so-called, cancer apps that are available on the various stores. From those that are produced by organizations like American, Cancer Society, Tacoma, and a lot of those are focused on, how you can donate or how you can provide funds to or participate in activities associated with their fundraising activities. Some of them do provide educational content, but it's basically putting into an app content that is available online, so the patient has to basically go search through that content in the same way they would do a Google search. So, we believe we're the first smart app that provides content that is relevant for a given patient and for their specific journey and their stage. And as I mentioned previously, everything that's personalized about that particular patient. To our knowledge, There is no other cancer app that does this, and in fact we have a patent on the process of personalizing the content delivery.
So John, have you written the content? How does it work? Or is it like a better engine search, or?
Yeah, how does the app work? What are the components of this of the application?
Sure. So to answer Stella's question first, the content actually is licensed from the National Cancer Institute. So just like any other website, cancer patients can go to the National Cancer Institute website and search through their content, and it is well written, well documented, accurate, and always up to date. The problem with that is that it's the same issue as they would go to any other website, in that the content is generic. And so if I search breast cancer, I learn a lot about breast cancer, which is great, but I don't learn about my breast cancer, my treatment, my emotional conditions. And so that's the issue we're addressing, as part of this app. In terms of the technology and how we achieve that, we basically created a map of the probable pathways that a patient can take through their breast cancer journey. So the patient downloads the app. We ask a couple of questions of the patient that helps us understand where they are in their journey, and from that point forward, we follow them through their pathway. And if you kind of have a mental picture of a subway map and the lines drawing from one station to another, what we've created is a complex subway map which maps the pathways of the breast cancer patients as they go through their journey. And as the patient approaches their next stage, or visually as the patient approaches the next train station, we know what content they're specifically going to need, and we provide that to them ahead of that time. Likewise, when they go to their next stage, there'll be follow-up questions, follow-up issues they'll want to know about, and as they progress from one stage to the next, we provide them with content that's specific to them about the previous stop they had on their journey.
So if I understand properly, you did write some content that is personalized and...
Well, the actual content that's provided is from the National Cancer Institute, but where, when, and why the content is provided to the patient is part of our process.
Now, I was reviewing the app on the site, WillowGlade Technologies. One of the features of it is you can bring in a support network, too, your friends and family. Talk to me a little bit about this feature of the app.
Yeah, sure. So it's really important for a couple of reasons. Everyone who knows or has known a cancer patient wants to support their friend or their family member in one way, shape, or form. They don't know necessarily how to do that, and it's frustrating for them and for the patient, because the patient knows that everyone wants to help, but they don't know how to help because they don't understand what's going on clinically or emotionally with the patient. So one of the things that we were told by patients and friends and family when we first started on creating the solution was it would be really cool if, as a patient, we could selectively choose which content is shared with which friends and family. So within the patient app itself, the patient can share documents and videos. We have videos in there as well that they can share that with invited friends and family, and they can choose which friends and family receive which content. So if it's more of an intimate topic about pregnancy or fertility, they may just want to share that with a partner, and they can select just their partner, share that content with their partner. The partner or the supporter will use a separate app. They can both read the same document, and they can have an online conversation, like a newsfeed style conversation about that content.
Yeah, let me take a quick break here, John. I got to hit a commercial break here, but coming back from the break, we're going to hear more from John Papandrea, President and CEO of WillowGlade Technologies, and you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their Shop at Home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit AccessReverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit AccessReverse.com. NMLS number 4566.
Hey there, it's Lynn Wise, the founder of Wise Business Advisors and Contractor Business Alliance. I am a certified value builder advisor, and I help business owners build a company that will allow them to have the business that they dreamed of when they started. Why did you go into business for yourself? I'm sure it was not to work 100 hours a week with no work-life balance and no financial freedom. What am I talking about? I'm talking about building a business that provides value to you and your family now and in the future. You can learn about the 8 essential areas of a business that you must build to have a business that can be an asset for your future. Go to wisebusinessadvisors.com and take the Value Builder score. It is free and will deliver your score immediately on how you are doing on building a valuable business for you and your family. Or call me at 772-834-8513 to learn more about the Value Builder system.
Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
This report is brought to you by iHeartMedia.
Looking for a way to increase your business? Ever thought about advertising on radio? iHeartMedia can customize a campaign to meet your specific needs. Call 844-BUY-RADIO. That's 844-BUY-RADIO. Or go to iHeartMedia.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We are still seeing very heavy delays northbound on 275 from just after 4th Street all the way to Kennedy Boulevard because of a crash on the exit ramp to Kennedy that has a left lane blocked. We have a serious crash on 66th Street at 54th Avenue North and a crash now in Pasco on State Road 56 at Bruce B. Downs. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamston, Utica, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
A 70% rain chance this afternoon, high 78. Partly cloudy and windy tonight, low 54. Tomorrow, sunny, high 68.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Currently talking with John Papandrea, President and CEO of WillowGlade Technologies, a company that has developed an app for breast cancer patients. And before the break there, we're talking, specifics about the app and everything. But I want to know more about security. I know that a lot of people are usually concerned about this when it comes to their healthcare information. So tell me how you're addressing the security concerns with this new breast cancer app.
Sure, absolutely. Security is obviously a concern for everybody, including ourselves. And we've secured the solution from a number of perspectives. We're a professional outfit. We don't have servers in basements or under desks in office buildings, scattered around the country. We're actually using a cloud hosting service provided by one of the largest IT companies in the world. So physical security is one first issue. A lot of security breaches you hear about in hospitals is where someone has a desktop or a laptop that someone steals from that organization. That's the first thing. The second thing is no patient data is actually stored on the device itself. So it's secure from that point of view.
Now, where is the app available? And you said this is a free application, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, and so what devices and platforms is it available on?
Android and iOS, so iPhone, iPad, and the Android phones and tablets.
Okay, and I didn't mean to cut you off. Were you about to make some more points on the security front?
Yeah, and the other thing I was going to mention is that the traffic between the device and the server, the back end, is encrypted in the same way that your banking app would be encrypted, so no one can actually break into the flow of traffic between your device and the back end.
Okay, so now that the apps are free to patients, obviously the big question is, how are you able to make them for free and still stay in business? So talk to me a little bit about that.
Sure. We built the breast cancer app on a platform that we developed as part of our development process, and that platform we make available to healthcare providers who want to engage with their patients in a more holistic or educate their patients in a more holistic fashion, as well as organizations conducting clinical trials or post-market surveillance for medications that they may have just released to pharmaceutical companies. We provide it to them in a white label fashion, so it's branded as their mobile solution, but we provide it to them as a service, and we charge them for that. So the funds that we generate by that business model allow us to provide free solutions to consumers, both here in the U.S., and we're also about to release next month a Spanish version of the breast cancer app and the supporter app, which will be released here in the U.S. as well as through Latin America.
Wow. Now, go ahead, Sal.
So, John, the app is only for breast cancer?
Yeah, what we did was we created this pathway or this map I referred to earlier for breast cancer, and we plan on releasing versions for prostate, lung, colorectal, and other cancers as we move forward. But just for now, it's focused on breast. That's correct.
Can you tell? Sorry,
go ahead, Salah.
Can you tell at the moment how many people are on the app?
Yeah, we released the app just this year, and that's from the Cancer Journey Apps website, which is our consumer website. It kind of varies daily in terms of the number of downloads and activities such as, talking on radio shows and stuff like that. But we have several thousand patients and friends and family who are already using the solution, and we expect that to grow as awareness builds and as we start to deploy it outside the U.S. as well.
Now, I was reviewing a study before the show from back in January this past year that, many women, that, are diagnosed with breast cancer, they get poor information and poor knowledge, and we talked about that on the first segment. Was that your motivation in starting this app with breast cancer versus the other stuff, colorectal and prostate and those other things? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, exactly. So, my discussions and research before we started building the app very much are in alignment with the official study that was conducted out of the Cancer Institute in Boston, the one that you refer to. And their findings were that, only about 20% of women actually understood what kind of breast cancer they had. And of those 20%, only, 58% of those actually had it correct. So less than 10% of women who have breast cancer correctly understand their diagnosis, and that's really a bad thing when you think about knowledge and talking about Angelina Jolie saying just this week, knowledge is power when you make the right decisions. If less than 10% of women really understand what's going on, how can they make right decisions for them?
Yeah, hang on the line. I got to take another bottom of the hour break here, but yeah, we'll have a little bit more. There's some stuff coming out today about Angelina Jolie and your app, so please hang on the line here. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming back from the break. If you're just tuning in, we're talking with John Papandrea, President and CEO of WillowGlade Technologies, here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Up to $100 cash back with comprehensive insurance.
Your pet can't tell you what's wrong, but her itching, scratching, shedding, and gas are all signs she needs PetVi, a simple digestive supplement packed with vitamins.
PetVi.com, PetVi.com. For healthy pets, log on.
They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Hi, this is Todd Schnitt. If you're tired of riding the financial roller coaster, I have the solution. There is a better way, and it starts by calling my friend Robert Harwood, president of the Harwood Financial Group, one of Tampa Bay's leading financial firms. Robert has grown his practice by caring for his clients' financial needs, one family at a time. Good investments don't just grow on a money tree. It takes discipline, knowledge, and understanding. Robert and his team will work hard to earn your business, but even more importantly, to keep it. There are a lot of advisors for you to choose from, but once you experience the Harwood way, you'll never settle for anything less. Ask for your free CPR, a complete planning review, 800-395-4279, 800-395-4279, or win at retirement.com. Call the Harwood Financial Group and tell them Todd Schnitt sent you.
This report is brought to you by Silver Airways. Silver Airways. Who asked? Why drive when you could fly? Silver serves 12 destinations within Florida and 7 in the Bahamas, more than any other airline. Whether your next trip is for business or pleasure, avoid the hassles and book your flight at silverairways.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We are still seeing very heavy delays northbound on 275 from just after 4th Street all the way to Kennedy Boulevard because of a crash on the exit ramp to Kennedy that has a left lane blocked. We have a serious crash on 66th Street at 54th Avenue North and a crash now in Pasco on State Road 56 at Bruce B. Downs. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamston, Uterwick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
Winds, weather center forecast will be breezy, cloudy, and rainy to start the day. That should start to clear a bit into the afternoon. We'll see the temps today a little cooler in the mid-upper 70s and a cold overnight, dipping into the mid-50s. Impact Radio 1250 winds.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Currently talking with John Papandrea, president and CEO of WillowGlade Technologies. And Stella, I know you had something that you wanted to ask, so go ahead and I'll lead off here with a question.
John, is there several types of breast cancer?
Yeah, in fact, you may have heard about the genomic testing and the genetic testing that people can now undertake to identify the specific mutation that resulted in their specific type of breast cancer. And so, yes, genetically there are quite a number of different types of breast cancers, but apart from that, it's also about what stage the patient is at. Mm-hmm. Is it just a small lump? Is it a larger lump? Is it in one place? Is it in multiple places? And then what about other factors the patient may have, other, things like diabetes? How do they play into the treatment of the patient, etc.? So it's a very complex situation. There's just not one breast cancer, then one pathway, and that's why the map that we put together is actually a very complex looking subway map looking kind of thing.
This is great to just know, because as a woman, I just thought that there was just, breast cancer, and I didn't know there were several kinds.
Right,
so,
right.
I can see that when people are sick and they need to really get the information, it must be quite an adventure. Mm-hmm.
Now we see in the news over the last few months, and you're putting out something today about Angelina Jolie and her relationship with your app. App. She's been battling breast cancer, and I believe she's been through a double mastectomy. I'm not positive on that, but she's in support of your new breast cancer app. So talk to me about Angelina Jolie's journey and her relationship with the app.
Well, she has had some genetic testing done called BRCA, and it's positive, and women that have this gene have a significantly higher probability of getting breast cancer and ovarian cancer. And so it's quite some time ago she had a double mastectomy, so removal of both breasts, to reduce the probability of her getting breast cancer. However, as I said, when you're positive for this gene, you also have a high probability of getting ovarian cancer, which is usually quite aggressive. So just recently, as everyone has heard from the news, she also decided to have her ovaries removed. Now, she's in an extraordinary case because she is well educated, has access to top expertise, and can get great advice about how to deal with her illness. Even though she didn't have cancer, if she did and started going through her journey, she would have access to the best of the best. That's not the case with 99.9% of people, and that's why it's important for patients, the normal everyday lady, to get access to solutions like ours, because that can provide her with a personalized content and education so she can learn, understand, and make decisions that are right for her and for her circumstance. Just a clarification, Angelina Jolie, I don't know if she's seen or used our app or not, but the point we're trying to make here is that she has the opportunity, because of her social position, to have access to the best of the best. Most people don't. Our app can provide access to that content in the same way that she has.
Yeah, it's coming out today. Your publicist sent me the press release yesterday evening, so I figured you would have been made word of that. But yeah, it's coming out today, so I'm actually the first to bring that up about Angelina Jolie and endorsing your app. So kudos to you and your company for getting that type of endorsement.
John, you mentioned that Angelina Jolie did genetic testing. At one point, do doctors offer to do that kind of testing to women? I'm 38 and I've never was offered to do any kind of
test. It really depends on your family history. I have a close personal situation where, I know a lady whose, aunts, cousins, grandmother, all have had some type of breast or ovarian cancer, and that family has undergone genetic testing to determine, whether they have this same BRCA gene or not. And the interesting thing is that it can be passed from one generation to the next, from the father as well as the mother, with a 50% probability. So this lady is having her father tested to see if he has the gene, and if not, then it stops in that line coming down that direction. But if he does, then his children and grandchildren should be tested in order to ensure that they do or don't have it, and if they do, then they can speak with healthcare professionals about the right path to take for their personal situation.
Let's talk a little bit more about cancer in general. What is the incidence of cancer in the U.S. population at this time?
We have every year about almost 1.7 million people diagnosed with one type of cancer or another. It's about a 50-50 split, about 810,000 are women, about 860,000 are men. Of the women, about 29% of that 810,000 are breast cancer patients. So that's newly diagnosed every year. The incidence is growing, and cardiovascular disease, things like heart disease, stroke, have traditionally been the largest cause of death in the country, and the American Cancer Society is predicting that by 2025, which is really just around the corner, that cancer will be unfortunately the largest cause of death in the U.S.
What about elsewhere in the world? Are the stats the same or similar? What are we seeing versus us and abroad?
Yeah, interestingly enough, the stats in the Western world are very much the same in terms of percentages of the population that get cancer and the breakdown of types of cancer within that percentage. There is an exception in that in China, the most significant type of cancer in women is lung cancer.
Now, I see you use a term known as M-Health with regard to your apps. Talk to me a little bit about what M-Health is.
Yeah. M-Health is a generic term used for mobile technologies that enable healthcare delivery. It's a bit of a buzzword in the healthcare IT industry at the moment, because a lot of organizations are struggling to figure out how to engage with their patients, and that's kind of related to the Obamacare and the way in which it, changes the way or will change the way in which healthcare is delivered.
Now, does WillowGlade Technologies do they use or do they have other apps other than the breast cancer app? Talk to me a little bit about some of the other products that you have, or do you have?
Yeah, so we built the breast cancer app, obviously to help breast cancer patients, but to use it as a demonstration for our platform that is underpinning the breast cancer app. And so the conversations that we have with healthcare enterprises, whether they be healthcare providers or pharmaceutical companies or insurance companies, is how to leverage the platform for any type of cancer, or indeed for any other kind of what I refer to as emotional diagnoses, things like autism, Alzheimer's, etc. The concept around providing personalized educational content is relevant regardless of the type of diagnosis the patient has, and that's why we built it as a platform that can be leveraged in that fashion as opposed to just a single app.
Now, you see a lot of fitness apps out there. Do you consider those M-Health apps as well, do you have fitness apps as well within your platform of products?
We don't have fitness apps, and I think that the healthcare industry in general is struggling with how to use data that is generated by the fitness apps in a meaningful fashion, and how to deal with the volume of data that's actually generated from these fitness apps. My personal opinion is it's probably still a number of years away before fitness apps become integrated into the way healthcare is delivered. But there are people working on doing that. But like I said, I think it's years away, and we don't have fitness apps as part of our portfolio of solutions. We're focused on engaging with people and with patients in a way around a diagnosis.
So are these M-Health apps impacting healthcare delivery? You're saying that the healthcare then is kind of, or is behind a little bit with regard to integrating with these apps. So elaborate on that a little bit more for me.
Yeah. So healthcare, unfortunately, is behind the curve in terms of how they engage customers, because at the end of the day, a patient is a customer. If you think about how someone interacted with the bank 15 years ago, maybe there was a place you could go to the internet to log in, maybe see how much you had in your account, but there wasn't too much else you could do. That's, pretty much the state of the healthcare IT solutions at the moment.
Now, how are healthcare organizations, though, helping patients become better educated? Your app is obviously, one of the things that you're providing, but how are healthcare organizations helping patients?
Well, they provide them with printed content when they get discharged. They provide them with books, brochures, and these so-called more advanced providing educational content as part of a portal. But then that portal is not specific to the patient in terms of the content that's being delivered to them. Again, we get back to the generic, I've got to search through and find stuff that's relevant for me situation, which is the frustration that we're addressing.
Okay, so the mobile apps obviously are catered towards the individual patient versus kind of, I guess, the shotgun approach then that the healthcare organizations are utilizing. Is that a good a general assessment right there?
Our mobile app definitely is. Other mobile apps are taking what's on your web page and putting it into a mobile app, so it's still generic, unfortunately.
Now, we talked about cancer and the lack of information that people are getting and stuff. I mean, how are cancer patients learning about their diagnosis from an educational perspective today? Is it pretty much just going online and seeing all the information and some misinformation? Talk to me a little bit about that.
So there are two ways they do it. They get a book, a brochure, or a folder from their cancer center, which has got everything that everyone needs to know about every type of breast cancer. So it makes it difficult for them to understand what's specific to them. So that's the first way. Because that's too complicated, heavy, and big to carry around, they go home, go to the internet, log on, start searching online, and then they have the same problem. And this is time and again what we've heard from patients as we've gone through and created the solution. And that's the very thought process behind addressing that problem, that frustration that we have in our solution.
Got to take another quick break. Coming back from the break, though, we're going to be talking a little bit more here with John Papandrea, President and CEO of WillowGlade Technologies, about their new breast cancer app. And again, you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit accessreverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit accessreverse.com. NMLS number 4566.
Hey there, it's Lynn Wise, the founder of Wise Business Advisors and Contractor Business Alliance. I am a certified value builder advisor, and I help business owners build a company that will allow them to have the business that they dreamed of when they started. Why did you go into business for yourself? I'm sure it was not to work 100 hours a week with no work-life balance and no financial freedom. What am I talking about? I'm talking about building a business that provides value to you and your family now and in the future. You can learn about the 8 essential areas of a business that you must build to have a business that can be an asset for your future. Go to wisebusinessadvisors.com and take the Value Builder score. It is free and will deliver your score immediately on how you are doing on building a valuable business for you and your family. Or call me at 772-834-8513 to learn more about the Value Builder system.
Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. You are not alone. That's the message you send when you sponsor an elder living in poverty. Unbound is the only international sponsorship organization serving society's oldest and most vulnerable members. Learn more at unbound.org.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We have a big problem in Pinellas County now. A serious crash on 66th Street is still blocking all southbound traffic at 54th Avenue North. Still seeing heavy northbound delays on 275 across the entire span of the Howard Franklin to Kennedy because of an earlier crash that has been cleared. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamstown, Uterwick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
A 70% rain chance this afternoon, high 78. Partly cloudy and windy tonight, low 54. Tomorrow, sunny, high 68.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. You can catch the show on here weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 WHNZ. And again, this show is all about talking to the business owners, entrepreneurs, and people making a difference in and around our community. So I invite you to please tune in here weekdays at 8 a.m. if you want to break from all the professional complainers and talking heads that are out there complaining about what the right and the left is doing each and every day. So again, this is a show with a positive message, and again, tune in each weekday on 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. Also, you can catch the show on demand if you're not able to listen live, and you can catch it over on iTunes. If you're a podcast listener, just search for That Business Show up in iTunes. So I appreciate you helping me grow the show by supporting it on iTunes. Also, you can find me on all the social networking sites, facebook.com/That Business Show, as well as over on Twitter under the handle Jamie_Meloni, and of course on my main website, tampabayradio.com, where you can catch all the past shows as well and see interviews from the prior guests, neatly organized on the guest network page. And you can even watch us live here in studio each and every day. On the main page there is a link to the live stream. So just check on that and watch us in studio each and every weekday here on 1250 WHNZ. We're currently talking with John Papandrea, President and CEO of WillowGlade Technologies, about their new breast cancer app that is, helping keep, patients informed and educated on their condition. So, John, I want to circle back around to the listeners that have come in late and talk to us a little bit more about this app again and its features. So let's start with the app and its features again, please.
Sure, absolutely. So we provide an app which people can go to www.cancerjourneyapps.com to learn more about the app and to download the app. Once they download the app, they will find that they can get content, articles, documents, videos, diagrams that are personalized to their specific cancer diagnosis, breast cancer diagnosis, their treatment plan, and content to help them address their emotional concerns. They can invite friends and family to join them. The friends and family download a supporter app, and once they've done that, the patient can share content with the invited friends and family.
I want to clarify the social network aspect. Is there certain things you can share with certain people within the network, like your parents, and then certain things you can share with friends, maybe less information? Can you segregate the type of information that's disseminated to your network?
Absolutely, down to the individual. So if it's an article you want to share or a document you want to share with just one person, you can do that. If you want to share it with 2 or 3 people, you can do that. If you want to share it with everybody, you can do that. And then not only do you share that content or create a group around that content, then the group you invite can read, and you can have an online conversation around that particular content. So it builds a support network around the content for the patient.
What about the doctors? Are they buying into the app? Can you get your doctor obviously into the app? Or talk to me about buy-in from the medical perspective.
We've actually had a really, really strongly positive response from the medical community. Surgeons, breast surgeons in particular, who say that using this kind of solution or this kind of app really enhances the way in which they interact with their patients. Patients come in more educated, understanding their diagnosis, and therefore the conversations are really about the treatment options, rather than spending a lot of time educating the patient about things they've learned already using the app, or going through slabs of paper that the patient's brought in, that they're printed out from the internet, trying to understand their diagnosis, which is the worst case scenario.
John, we may have some listeners who may have a brilliant idea of creating an app. Do you have any advice to them? How does it work to actually create an app? How does it start? Who do you talk to?
Well, I think when you go to create any kind of app, whether it be a healthcare app or any kind of business or other related solution, you need to find a problem that you want to solve. You can create a great app that doesn't solve a problem and no one will be interested in using it. So first of all, identify the problem that you want to solve. Talk to people who are experiencing that problem and then really get inside their head around, what it is the problem is, and then understand how technology can help them. You will have to go through many iterations of prototyping, building, and providing that to people that have agreed to work with you. It's an iterative process. You don't just build this once and get it done. I think the release of the app that we did was the 5th iteration of the user interface.
And the problem, obviously, that you were solving is the lack of information that people were getting within the breast cancer journey that women were being put in front of them. Correct. So that was your motivation and the problem that you saw in the industry. Correct.
Exactly. People are frustrated about not having information about their specific diagnosis and treatment. That's the problem we solved.
Now, within the app, you can also store medical records and tests and documents. Is that correct?
The patient can enter medical tests so that they can trend those over time. They can enter their lab results. If they wish, they can enter in patient self-reported information, things like pain scores, those kinds of things that they can keep track of. If they're going on treatment, they may want to, keep track of their weight. They can also graph that so they can look at it over time and see how things are trending, which is important as well.
John, I'm back to my question. So how does it work once you have established all of really what you would need to put in place? Do you go to a company? Like, are there people that are specialized into creating apps? How do you take all of those ideas together to make it as an app in the real world?
Yeah, you can find companies online that will work with you. It's not a cheap exercise. It's quite expensive to do this the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to have money to do it if you don't know how to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And, the best advice I can give is to speak to as many people as you can that have done it before.
Mm-hmm.
Find out the pitfalls, the things they didn't do, that they would do in the future, and just educate yourself before you leap in.
Now, I want to circle back around to where the app is available and the platforms people can find this on. So take us back through that for the listeners that have come in late.
Yeah, absolutely. So the app is available on iOS, so you can download it for your iPhone and your iPad, and it's also available on Android, so you can download it for your Android phone or Android tablet. And the listeners can go to cancerjourneyapps.com, and there are links on the homepage of that website to the various stores, so you can download it from there.
And also, we want to stress that this is a free app for patients, correct? There is no charge?
Absolutely.
And again, you're making the money from the healthcare providers, correct, and advertisers. Talk to me a little bit more about how you're making the money, again, to support the business.
We create basically a white label version of the solution, so it's branded as the hospital or the pharmaceuticals version of the solution, and they pay us to do that and to support the solution over time. It could be about a different type of cancer or a different type of use case, and it's personalized to their organizational goals and usage. So they pay us for that. That funding allows us to provide the free solutions to consumers.
Well, hey, some great information. Got to wrap it up with you, John. But I commend you for making a difference in our community and in the healthcare industry with this application. And we'll definitely get it up on the website for on the show recap. So, John, thank you very much for stopping by and talking with me today.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right. If you're just tuning in, we were just talking with John Papandrea. He is the CEO and president of WillowGlade Technologies, a company that has developed this new breast cancer app to help patients, keep abreast of their journey and get information, and also bring in, their network of support, their family and their friends and stuff.
What's the name of the app again?
What did you got?
Yeah.
What? I don't know. It's just a breast cancer app. You have to search for that in the app store and everything. So sorry you put me on the spot there, Stella.
Yeah, I've been trying to ask him before he hangs up. I thought you knew. Sorry.
We'll get that up on the show recap over there at TampaBayRadio.com. And again, if you're just tuning in, we were just talking with John Papandrea, president and CEO of WillowGlade Technologies. Learn more about the app over at CancerJourneyApps.com. So that's where you get more information on CancerJourneyApps.com. I hope everybody has a great weekend and enjoy the rest of your Friday. And again, tune in here on Monday at 8 a.m. to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.